Welcome to Eastern State Penitentiary. In a moment, we'll enter the cell blocks, but our tour begins here with this view of the Central Guard Tower in the distance. I'm actor Steve Buscemi. I'll be one of your guides as you visit the prison. You'll also hear from people who lived and worked here when it was an active prison. These are their real voices.
Well, I used to tell them outright, you try to hurt me, I'm going to try to kill you. Tit for tat, pal.
If you looked at the walls outside, they were like 25 or 30 feet in the air. But for inside, they were like 60 or 70 feet in the air.
Eastern State is without a doubt the most influential prison that was ever built.
You're standing inside the world's first true penitentiary, a building designed to inspire penitence or true regret in the hearts of criminals. The architects here believe that all human beings, regardless of their behavior, have good in their hearts. On the inside, Eastern State was progressive, even visionary. But on the outside, this building is a castle, a fortress, a dungeon. Look at the walls. They're 30 feet tall, with an additional 10 feet below ground level. Look at the battlements across the roofline, the towers. This massive building was designed to dominate the landscape and imply a harsh physical threat to lawbreakers in the city below. But the prison's Gothic revival architecture is mostly for show. The battlements across the top of the administration building are fake. They're only ankle high and wouldn't provide much protection in battle. And you may have noticed tall arrow-slit windows lining the front wall as you approach the prison today, the type of windows seen in castles. Well, they're fake too. You're now looking at that huge wall from the inside, and you can see that those window frames don't penetrate this solid, featureless wall. This is Cell Block 1. It opened in 1829. Step inside, take your time, and look around. Who would design this massive structure? The state of Pennsylvania held a competition, and a $100 prize was awarded to John Haviland, a young British-trained architect. He was faced with a huge challenge, holding hundreds of prisoners in strict solitary confinement. Now that may sound simple today, but remember that in 1829, even the White House had no running water, and the president, Andrew Jackson, used a chamber pot. Haviland designed a prison system that would allow each prisoner to be kept completely isolated from his neighbor. Notice that each prisoner here had his own cell, roughly 8 by 12 feet, with a bed, a workbench, and a cast-iron toilet that was flushed with water once a day. The rule at Eastern State was not only isolation, but silence. 20 inches of masonry separate each cell, and the guards walking these corridors wore wool socks over their shoes to muffle their footsteps. The most common crimes that might land a person in Eastern State Penitentiary were robbery, burglary, horse theft, forgery, and murder. Typical sentences lasted only about 2 years, and few were longer than 8. At that time, there was no such thing as a life sentence, and those condemned to die were sent elsewhere.
By 1940, Eastern State had become a maximum security facility, with people serving life sentences and even death sentences. But they lived here, in the century-old shell of this once revolutionary prison.
Our tour continues inside the round room through the arched doorway. This room was called Center. Take a look around. The architect John Haviland envisioned the prison laid out like the hub and spokes of a wheel, with 7 one-story cell blocks radiating from this central point. One overseer could spin from the middle of this room and see down all the corridors. You entered through Cell Block 1, the first wing completed. Cell Block 2 housed female prisoners until they left in 1923. Cell Block 3 later became the hospital block. You can see a red cross inside a small circle in the middle of its iron gate. Al Capone had his tonsils removed there in 1929.
This large open space eventually became a recreational yard. It's the largest open space inside Eastern State Penitentiary. Standing here, outside the cell blocks, you can get a sense of how much Eastern State changed over time. Look at the Central Guard Tower with its catwalks and searchlights. It was added to the prison in the 1950s. Behind it is the old stone tower built in the 1820s. And beyond that, the modern skyline of Philadelphia. Although the architecture of this building was worked and reworked to reflect changing ideas, it wasn't enough. The prison was outmoded, its heating and plumbing systems outdated. The corridors and these outdoor spaces were never intended to handle the huge crowds of prisoners that now filled them. The aging prison became increasingly hard to manage, expensive to maintain, and dangerous. The state slowly transferred the population to other prisons, and in 1970, the massive front door was locked one last time. This time, to keep people out. What would become of this massive complex? The city of Philadelphia intended to sell the property for commercial real estate development. The leading plans throughout the 1980s included condominiums or a shopping mall. But on the eve of the decision to sell the property, a loose organization of community leaders won out. Surely this building, the world's first true penitentiary, should be preserved. But for what? Historic Site CEO Sally Elk.
We are compelled to preserve this amazing place, to stabilize it as a ruin, and yet to restore a few places that will help us to tell its stories.
The American prison system has undergone an historic transformation in the decades since Eastern State Penitentiary closed in 1970.
The system of isolation developed in this building became known as the Pennsylvania system, and it met with great enthusiasm, especially in Europe and the European colonies. A steady stream of government officials traveled to Philadelphia to study this building, and roughly 300 prisons on 5 continents were modeled after Eastern State Penitentiary.
So, why does the U.S. still have the highest rate of incarceration in the world? What changes will be necessary to reduce the number of people we send to prison? There is no better place to consider these questions than here at Eastern State Penitentiary, once a model for prison reform around the world.
Okay, ready? Gotta go, come on! Go, 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 go. What are we at?
Bet on me, my best friend did too. How can I tell them we're totally screwed? Don't gotta be stingy when you learn the rule. That no one automatically buys something new. I got those $5 bills, the man on the rails getting knocked right on his butt. Hamilton's a 10, 100 flat. That's 10 times the pressure, that's quite simple math. A strike, that's the only path. A poor Richard had to cash this spot that you had. I got those $5 bills, the man on the bills getting knocked right on his butt. I've got those $5 bills, $5 bills, those $5 bills. I'm facing the news and I don't wanna choose. Some don't stress and privilege, but I say it's a curse. My wife bet on me, my best friend did first. How can I tell them the world's about to burst? I got those $5 bills, the man on those bills getting knocked right on his butt. I've got those $5 bills, those $5 bills, those $5 bills. I'm facing the news and I don't want to.
The first part of our tour is over. You now have a chance to explore the rest of this fascinating and haunting property on your own. One way to continue is follow the large prison wall. It will lead you past several cell blocks that you haven't visited yet. If you'd like to help us preserve this National Historic Landmark, please consider joining our membership program. Thanks for visiting today.